Imagine waking up one day to discover one of your most vivid childhood memories never actually happened. The family trip to Disneyland, the moment your grandma read you a bedtime story, the time you got lost at the mall. It was all completely fake. But here's the scary part. Your brain can't tell the difference. Can our memories be manipulated? And if so, how much of your life memories can you actually trust? When your brain stores a memory, many people think it does it the same way a computer stores a file, for instance. But in reality, it actually stores it in bits and pieces of the event, such as sights from the event, sounds, words, and other key factors. And when you recall a memory, your brain takes all these bits and pieces and puts them together. So in reality, recalling a memory is more like putting together a puzzle, not replaying a movie. Therefore, every time you piece together a memory, there is more room for error, because you have to rebuild that puzzle every single time. A psychologist by the name of Elizabeth Loftus had some questions about memories and designed an experiment to see if fake memories were possible if you suggest misleading information. Her most popular study was her car crash study. In this study, she presented slides of a car crash to participants. Once she showed them, she would ask how fast the cars were going when they smashed into each other, versus how fast were the cars going when they hit each other. Notice the difference? By using the word smashed, people would associate the car accident to be more severe than it actually was. After asking this question, Loftus asked participants, was there broken glass at the scene of the accident? This experiment had a big impact because the findings were remarkable. Participants who heard the word smashed were much more likely to say there was broken glass at the scene, but there wasn't, proving that with suggestion, false memories could be created. Loftus also went on to conduct another experiment called Lost in the Mall. In this experiment, family members of participants provided real childhood stories to the participants, but then they slipped a fake story in there about the participant getting lost in a mall when they were 5 years old. Some realistic details of the event are told to the participant. After, the participant is asked to recall the event in their point of view, even though the story is 100% made up. But the crazy thing was that around 25% of the participants came to believe that the event actually happened, even though it never really did. Examples of false memories can be seen all throughout society, and false memories aren't just personal. They can be created and shared by a ton of people. The biggest example of this is the Mandela Effect. Many people online shared the same memory, that Mandela died in prison in the 80s, but that wasn't true. The strange phenomenon doesn't stop there. Many people swear they grew up reading the Berenstain Bears, spelled with an E. In reality, it's Berenstain, spelled with an A. Others picture the Monopoly Man with a monocle, even though he never had one. This is just another example of how memory is reconstructive. When many people make the same reconstructive error, filling in gaps with what feels right, it creates a shared false memory. And because it's shared, it feels even more convincing. But the impact of false memories is huge. In the US alone, more than 70% of wrongful convictions overturned by DNA evidence were because of a faulty eyewitness testimony. But it's not just witnesses lying. Most of them truly believe what they saw. When police show a suspect lineup, subtle cues like wording or body language can cause witnesses to remember the wrong face. Once that false memory sets in, it feels just as vivid and as real as the truth. A big example of this is Ronald Cotton case. In 1984, Jennifer Thompson Canino was assaulted in her home. She memorized her attacker's face and later picked Ronald Cotton out of a police lineup. She testified in court that she knew with all certainty Cotton was the man who raped her. And Cotton was sentenced to life in prison for this. But he was actually innocent the whole time. And even though Jennifer swore he was the one, DNA evidence would prove Cotton's innocence, and he was released from prison after 11 years. But at the end of the day, creating and iterating memories is a very human thing to do. So Jennifer probably wasn't at fault for sentencing the wrong man. It most likely was just a complete accident. There are a lot of examples of false memories getting the wrong people into big trouble, such as with Ronald Cotton or Ray Bucky, a preschool teacher who was accused of touching his students. And even though there was no evidence for him doing this, he almost ended up in prison from false memories made and told from his preschool students. So just remember, every time you tell a story about yourself, you are not replaying the past, but rather rewriting it, putting together another puzzle. As a result, your memories are fragile, but they are also editable. And because your brain can edit your memories, just remember, even though an event plays out exactly as you have it remembered, maybe pause and think again, because there's a chance your memories are fake.